Hello everyone and welcome to Kernel of Wisdom. I'm Joelle and today we are launching our Mindful Technology series by taking a look at Soul 7. Okay, so the first bunch of technologies that we're going to look at are technologies that are offered by this amazing center in Toronto called Soul 7. Before we get started though, I want to remind you that I would love to hear from you. So if you like this video, let me know by clicking the thumbs up like button below, or subscribe for more mindful content from Kernel of Wisdom. Or if you have ideas for future videos or any questions or comments, please feel free to post in the comment box below or shoot me a note at joelle@kernelofwisdom.com. Okay, so Soul 7. What makes these guys so awesome and unique is that they are combining all of these neuroscientific healing technologies with mindfulness. Soul 7's teams of technologists and professionals have worked with all sorts of scientists and medical practitioners, health practitioners to develop the technologies that they use there today. And they have a ton of different technologies, all using natural frequencies, whether it's light frequency, sound frequency, frequencies that are meant to align and balance your body or your chakra system, or any of these different energies, these wave and frequency energies that exist in the body and the earth. They're using them in all of these unique ways to initiate a mindful process for those who've never meditated, or to enhance the mindful processes that meditators use already. Now I can go on and on about this place, but I thought it would be amazing to hear from the absolutely beautiful soul that started Soul 7. His name is Bob Berman, and he's going to explain his mission, philosophy, and what Soul 7's all about. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I do, because I so believe in the message that he's trying to spread, that we all have an innate ability to listen and heal ourselves if we can learn how to tap into that. I was so moved by this conversation with Bob, and I hope you are too.
So Soul 7 is really the product of my own healing journey. The technologies that are here are things that have worked for me. And as it turned out, along with the technologies that have manifested, scientists have manifested. So they sort of have found me. And they have found me because Soul 7 is a mission-oriented type of a place. And the mission really is to help people optimize their innate ability to self-heal. And getting into a meditative state, or a state that I call coherence, balance, is really the way to initiate and optimize your ability to self-heal. Not only does it deal with stress and relaxation and things that people seem to meditate for on one level, but it can lead to, as can meditation, lead to kind of a sense of self-awareness that in turn can lead to real profound self-healing. Not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually. And so it's that triad, that circle that you want to try and complete. Many people come to Soul 7 and engage in meditation for kind of that, what pop culture calls the mind-body connection, to feel better, to relax, to de-stress. If you kind of take it one step further to that third element, which is the spiritual side, the soul side, then you really get into a place where you can really heal. And you know, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And that's really where the healing is. It's in that last element. And so the technology that we use frequency at Soul 7. And we use sound frequency, light frequency, and electromagnetic frequencies to get you into that, what people call the meditative state. And that's, I mean, frequency really is, those three frequencies are the frequencies, the only frequencies that make up the universe. And sound, light, and electromagnetic frequency is what makes everything happen. You have an electromagnetic field around you. I do. Every living thing does. The earth does. In fact, the earth has not only does it have an electromagnetic field like you and I, but it even has a heartbeat that some people call the Schumann resonance, which is a frequency, again, that exists between our kind of atmosphere and outer space. That space is called the ionosphere, and it has a frequency. And it's 7.83 hertz, and it's pulsating. It's the Earth's heartbeat. So the Earth is, like us, is a living entity, which is why a lot of ancient traditions and current native people and Incas, Mayans refer to the Earth as Mother Earth, or Pachamama, and in Spanish. And all that to say is that we're all one big living organism, and with balance, both the Earth as a whole and each of us as human beings, we can get to that healing place. So on a microcosm, that's what we do at Soul 7. We help people with technologies, frequency technologies, get into coherence or balance, or what some people might refer to as a meditative state, without having to know how to meditate. Ultimately, our goal here is to get you to a place where you can where you engage in a practice like the practice that you advocate for, at home and everywhere, because that's really where it's all available to us, right? Well, I'll tell you why, honestly, because you feel it's important. So the most of us, especially in North America, feel that it's important, that we need evidence, that tell me why, right? Before we actually accept it, before we actually, even though we're feeling better, we somehow need, especially in North America, evidence to tell us that we're feeling better. Mm-hmm. And that's when we actually accept it. Otherwise, we kind of seem to be skeptics here, natural skeptics. And so initially, this place was going to be a crystal healing place. And but I kind of began to realize that, crystal healing is, without evidence. Mm-hmm. And so I started looking for technologies. Also, I had been looking for technologies for other reasons. And when I found them, I thought, well, okay, people seem to want evidence, and everything that we have is evidence-based technologies. So, like the OnDemand machine, which is a German pulsed electromagnetic frequency therapy tool that personalizes the delivery of frequencies, in that it combines with biofeedback to determine what frequencies your body needs and where to apply those frequencies in order to resolve energy blockages. So you can think of it as 21st century acupuncture with clinical evidence to support it, and with Health Canada approval as a consequence, to support it. You don't need technology to do it, actually, but, people want evidence. Fear. That's it, fear. We live in a culture, especially here in North America, that is well-intentioned fear-based kind of medicine, if you're looking at the medical community. That's in my opinion. And so, you know, we're always fighting things. You know, we're fighting cancer. We're battling everything, and it's out of fear, right? If we had more faith and trust, faith in ourselves and trust in the universe, however you define it. I'm not even religious, but then we would be less fearful, and we would, you know, get out of our own way. And that's where how self-healing is kind of optimized. It's with that awareness that hey, you know what, I can handle this, and I have trust that, you know, there's something bigger than myself that is gonna work for my highest good, whatever that is. And so that's really hard for people, right? The faith and trust thing. It's much easier to kind of just be fearful.
Yeah.
And especially when everyone around you is encouraging you to be that way, including, you know, the medical community for the most part, you know, your family, your loved ones. Everybody is saying, don't, you know, of course you have reason to be fearful. You know, you've got cancer, or, you know, you're depressed and you've been that way your whole life, or, you know, of course, you know, of course it's a battle, you know. So if you get that from your loved ones, and your caregivers, your medical people are kind of saying, you know, we're going to do our best, you have to fight, you know, and it might not work out, so do your best. There's actually neuroscience that suggests that meditation and the place that it gets you to neuroscientifically can lead to this thing that I call awareness of awareness, which is kind of what you're talking about. It's like, wow, I feel better. Don't quite know why. It's not, you know, this technology. It's not the coaching. I think that got me there, but it's something else. Don't know what it is. To me, that's awareness of awareness. So neuroscience actually suggests in studies that coaching, tools, coherence, anything that brings you to coherence, you know, naturally, non-invasively, drug-free, usually. Well, even ayahuasca sometimes can do it, though. That's a natural substance. Can maybe give you that awareness of awareness in a few cases. But it's a big leap to get to the next step, which is awareness, right? And awareness is, oh, I feel better, and I know what needs to change. Because it's change that actually initiates the self-healing process. You can't heal without change. That's what one of my science collaborators, actually, his name is Dr. Cliff Saunders. He's a PhD in something I had never heard of before, cybernetics of the brain.
Wow.
And that's engineering of the brain, how the brain works. And again, he was one of these scientists that found me, and we met and really hit it off. And I asked him about a year after I met him, and about a year into Soul 7, which has only been, this is its third year. I said, Cliff, how come some people heal and others don't? And some people heal and then regress. Actually, that's most people, it seems. And he gave me an equation, which I'll give to you to give to your followers. And that is this, that healing equals change, which equals tools. So these are tools. You're a tool. I'm a tool.
Yeah. Meditation itself is a tool.
Meditation itself is a tool. Plus self-motivation. You really got to want to truly heal. You can't be here because, you know, your husband or your partner said, yeah, you should try this. It won't work. You got to be really self-motivated, he said. So plus, he said, self-awareness, awareness, which is what I've been talking about. So with that equation, healing equals change, which equals tools, plus self-motivation, plus self-awareness. That's it. That is the equation for self-healing. And that's where the fear sets in. Because even if you get awareness of awareness, and then you get awareness, right, which is knowing what needs to change, everyone around you is going to say, don't do it. You know, when you hear those kind of things, don't quit your job, don't leave your spouse, don't do the change, right? You kind of think, most of us do, well, maybe they're right. You know what? I'll just stay where I am, which is the status quo, which could be chronic pain, fibromyalgia, even cancer, right? Or an abusive relationship, or a job that you've hated for 2 decades, right? But it's easier to do that than to leap into a change that you don't know where you're going to end up in, right? And all I can tell your viewers is this, and this is a guarantee. I'm looking right into the camera. If you have the courage to leap into your change, turns out you don't go down, you go up. And guaranteed, you'll end up in a place like this. This is where I ended up, Soul 7. No plan, no business plan, just a leap of faith, which is a big deal. It's not just. But if you do your leap of faith, you're going to end up in your Soul 7, in your place. And it's going to be amazing. And you know, I'm going to cry now, but
I know, I'm sorry.
but you know, you don't have to wait 40 years, because as soon as my generation goes, your generation is here. You guys are at a frequency, are vibrating at a frequency, as we all do as a collective, right? Much higher than my generation. We're dragging you down, you know? Look at Trump. He's like the worst example of frequency, you know? But he's going to be a karmic catalyst to change. That's why. And then we're going to be gone. You guys are going to be here. It's going to be much better. Much better. You're already doing it. That's why we're having this interview. You know, that's why you're doing what you're doing. That is where the healing is. Okay, so what we do is, you know, Rebecca or Kasia or someone will meet them and introduce them to, typically we use neuromuscular vibration technology. So to induce that meditative state, that kind of frequency that simulates, let's say, meditation. So it's really meditation that isn't meditation. It's meditation. So meditation, in my mind, is getting into a space between your thoughts, right? And learning how to do that. And it takes practice. And a lot of us, most of us, don't really want to engage in that practice. But what this does is it gets you into a frequency state, so that kind of simulates, in fact, it gets you really into a frequency, your body and brain, which is different than the mind, into that frequency of meditation. The practice of meditation, which I would encourage your viewers to learn and do and have a coach help them with, gets you into that frequency state with practice and gets you hopefully into that space where you might be able to find yourself, which is kind of in between, actually in between frequencies. And so we can kind of get you into a state of what I call balance, coherence, which is a byproduct of meditation, but not really, I don't think, the purpose of meditation. And then hopefully you'll take that feeling that the technology can induce with frequency and get a coach, and then practice to get into that space. So we use, typically when you get here, the first technology that you use is neuromuscular vibration, which is sound technology. So sound is a frequency that you'll hear through headphones and that you'll experience through like a pad that vibrates. It's like you're lying on a subwoofer, and so that your body experiences or actually feels the frequency, the sound frequency. And then you'll wear glasses that induce color and light frequencies, all combining in a certain way to get you into that meditative zone frequency-wise, so that you feel as though you have meditated after the session, even though you haven't. And that's similarly, we use other technologies, like the bed that you're sitting on now is a German technology that combines crystal massage. There are crystal rollers in here with sound and light frequencies. And in another room we have pulsed electromagnetic frequency mats that you lie on that again induce the frequencies that are generally induced when you meditate properly. So it really, what our technologies do is make you feel as though you have meditated without knowing how to meditate or even having meditated. If you're an experienced meditator, which I'm really not, but I do try, you can actually have, and I mean, it's hard to believe, but I hope you guys believe, that almost an out-of-body experience if you're an experienced meditator, because first of all, you can have that experience without the technology. If you have a good coach and you've learned and you've practiced. With the technology, you can have that. So an experienced meditator can get to that quicker with the technology, and it's an amazing. It's like you get to that space between thoughts, and you feel, and you almost experience it. You do experience it actually up here as if you're out of body. And so the technology can kind of help with that when you're an experienced meditator, and it can sort of deepen the meditative experience, the real meditative experience, but that we cannot really give you. Only you can, and only you can get there with practice. And but if you're experienced and you come here, then you can get into a deeper meditation maybe more quickly and even get to an out-of-body experience. Self-awareness is work. And, most of us don't want to do the work. And I would love for people to come down and use our technologies, not just for symptom management, not just as if it's another pill, which it is. It can be, and most of our clients kind of come down for that reason. They want symptom management in a non-invasive, drug-free way, and fine, that's okay. I'm okay with that, but I would really love your community. Because I suspect it's a community that is ready to work, to come down and use this as a workout facility, for that mind, body, spirit connection. That last element is what, in my view, is so lacking, and I have so much hope for with your generation. That's really what I would love people to come down and think of this as, the good life of soul development and self-awareness. I mean, that would be great. Let me give you a hug.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that introduction to Soul 7 and a little bit about what mindful technology is all about. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a note or post in the comment box below. Do not forget to subscribe for more mindful content from Kernel of Wisdom. Click like if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have an amazing day and happy meditating. Bye.